That's all right. I'll move on. Can you explain why you've named the Daily Caller, a publication well documented with ties to white supremacists, as an official fact checker for Facebook?
Congresswoman, sure. We actually don't appoint the independent fact checkers. They go through an independent organization called the Independent Fact Checking Network that has a rigorous standard for who they allow to serve as a fact checker.
So you would say that white supremacist tied publications meet a rigorous standard for fact checking?
Yo, what is up? Before the CS44 video starts, let's go on with some little bit of news. A lot of new tanks, a lot of old tanks are getting buffed with their armor. E50M, the 121, Object 140, T34-2 among others being buffed. Check out the news that is coming up. The armor is getting buffed. That means we're going to fire a lot more premium shells at them, which is going to be really good for wargaming. But there's a whole list of tanks that's being buffed. Go check out the news. And let's get on to the CS44 news. Well, let me tell you about the CS44. I'm playing this tank actually stock, and that is completely by design because I do not have enough XP to research this tank. If you are here for the first time, consider subscribing and giving this video a like. This is the best way you can help support my channel, and let me thank you in advance. Also remember to leave a comment in the comment section below. Wargaming does pay attention to your comments. They do read what is going on in your head and what you think of all the patches and updates and new tanks. Anyway, here's my story on the CS44. I did not have the XP. I only researched the tank and played it immediately. The only thing I got upgraded was the radio and the turret. That's the only enough XP that I could get. I do not have tracks, I do not have engine, so I'm playing this stock with the first gun. Now there's 3 guns on this tank. The first gun and the second gun is similar. The only thing different between the first and second gun is the amount of penetration you get from the second gun. Obviously it's going to be a little bit more than the first gun. The third gun, on the way to getting to the tier 8 tank, you have to research it, is a bigger gun which does 300 damage. Now I discovered this by accident, so I'm going to share it with you. Stay with either the first gun or the second gun. Unfortunately, if you pick the second gun, you are not on your way to researching the tier 8 version of this tech tree, so you might as well just stay with the first gun. Anyway, I am comparing it to a T20. Why? The T20 is one of the best tanks in this game in tier 7, and because I do not have the tracks and the engine, I could not carry more than 2 equipment, so I only carried the improved rotation mechanism and optics. These are the only 2 equipment that I have with the stock gun, which is the first gun. The stats that I'm showing you here on the left is stats on the second gun, so I do recommend that you use the second gun because you get 160 standard penetration and 202 premium penetration. In the first gun that I'm using now, it has terrible penetrations. That is why I am completely committed to premium shells, even though I'm playing with tanks that are not exactly super dangerous or super hard or anything, but the penetration is so low on the first gun that I just decide to use premium shells for the higher penetration. But the video I'm showing you in Paris, this was actually my first game in this tank, so I am completely stuck with only the turret upgraded and the radio upgraded. So I don't have tracks, I don't have engine, and I don't have upgraded gun. Still on my first gun, but as you can see, I'm doing pretty well. I'm kind of happy with it. Why? Because for a stock tank, this thing is pretty easy to play. Now if you plan on keeping this tank, good luck to you. Am I going to keep this tank for myself in my live account? The answer is no, and the only reason why I don't want to keep this tank is because I think it's ugly. It's the ugliest one out of the entire line. This is the ugliest thing that I've seen. I don't like the front. The front is too ugly. The sides and back are not bad, but I don't like the way it looks. The way it plays, however, is not bad at all. Actually, the way it plays is actually pretty fine. It's easy to grind through. If you want it to perform a bit better and shoot less premium rounds, I do suggest you research the second gun. But when you research the second gun for 13,000 XP, you're not on the path to the tier 8 CS53. So if you want to, you know, speed up your grind and go towards the CS53, the tier 8 version, you need to research the third gun. Now, if you do decide to mount the third gun and use it, here's the problem. The third gun takes 10 seconds to reload. The first gun and the second gun only takes 8 seconds to reload. So there's a 2-second difference there, and the amount of damage you do, the difference is between 240 on the first and second gun and 300 on the third gun. So 60 HP, 60 hit points difference between the second gun and the third gun, and 2 seconds more reload time. Sorry, not 2 seconds actually, I made a mistake. It's actually 4 seconds because the third gun reload time is actually 12 seconds. So for extra 4 seconds, you get extra 60 hit points of damage. So the first gun and second gun takes 8 seconds to reload. The third gun takes 12 seconds to reload. That is a lot of DPM that you will lose if you're constantly firing your gun. You want it to reload quick. The greater alpha damage is great for the third gun. I mean, 300 damage for tier 7 is really good, but if it takes you 12 seconds to do it, I don't think it's going to be worth it. Now, like I said, the T20 is the daddy of this tier, T20. Now, I'm a guy that does not care about 3 marks, does not care about scores, does not care about damage output. Even I 3 mark the T20. That's how I accidentally third marked that T20. That's how good the T20 is. The T20 is legendary. It takes 9 seconds to reload, 240 damage, same damage output as the CS44 with the first and second gun. But remember, the CS44 is reloading 2 seconds quicker than the T20. So you need to think about what you want to do here. You want to grind through, you want to keep the tank, what do you want to do? What is your objective with this tank? Think through it before you decide to commit to what kind of style, what kind of setup you want to go with this tank. For this first game, I got third mark, not third mark, what is that? Whatever you call it, the 3 badge anyway. 2170 damage. That is really good for a stock tank. Be honest with you, I mean, it was a pretty easy game. It wasn't a very challenging game. This is my setup, exactly the setup that I had in Paris. But hey, for a first game in a stock tank, I will take it. I mean, I'll take what I'll take. The second game here I am is on highway. I am still stock. The only difference right now here is this time I have managed to research the tracks. So when I research the tracks, it means I can carry a little bit more load, and which means I have 3 equipment instead of 2. So I've got the improved rotation mechanism. I've got the I've got the gun rammer, and I've got the optics on the tank at the moment. So I'm going to roll with that. Again, we are on highway and north spawn, and being top tier, I am going to this location on the Alpha 1. Now, I normally wouldn't go to this location if I was not kind of like a capable tank, if I wasn't a bully tank, if I was not top tier, if I was not an aggressive tank, I wouldn't go up here. The only reason I'm going up here is because I am the top tier medium. The only thing that I could possibly be facing would be another CS44, a couple of other mediums could be there, like the 40 TP, maybe a T3485, T3485M, maybe a light tank. I could definitely take on those tanks, which is the reason why I'm here. So immediately I snapshotted that guy and bounced him, even with my premium shells. Again, I'm still using my first gun here, 240 damage, not much penetration. The reason why I shot through that wall is to make sure that he does not sneak past without me spotting him, and so I blew a hole in the wall so that when he drove through, I could definitely spot him out. So that's one of the tricks you need to know if you are trying to attempt the same thing here. That guy actually managed to hit me there while he was driving away, shooting behind. Kudos to him though. But anyway, I'm gonna be super aggressive here because I know I can. There's no one here, so as long as I don't get RT'd out by the FV304, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna drive to this hill. Once I sit on the slope of the hill, it's gonna be difficult for him to RT me out anyway because of the arc of the artillery shell. It's not impossible for him to hit me, but it's gonna be a little bit more challenging. So I'm gonna stick to this slope until we can clear everything out on this side. So I'm just gonna sit here and see if I can spot anything, stick my turret out. There you go, there's a couple of tanks there. I'm gonna shoot the one in the distance because I don't wanna poke over unnecessarily and take damage. So this guy's trying to run away, so let's get one shot at him. I'm expecting artillery to hit me sometime soon, but it's not an artillery, it's the Challenger. Can't believe he had some angle at me right there. Wasted that shot there. I should have shot at something else instead of trying to snipe a cupola. But the Challenger taking a shot at me meant that he got himself exposed, and he's going to be eliminated by the rest of my team. My campers at the back, tank destroyers at the back. I managed to get myself ammo racked, and I do not have a repair kit, so my reload time is now extended, and unfortunately because of that I am not going to be doing top damage here because I just used my repair kit, which means I'm going to need about another minute for my repair station to come up and for me to repair my ammo rack. So I am being a little bit cautious here. I didn't need to be. I could have been a little bit more aggressive because if I taken a look at the scores, it's already 7-2, which means we are most likely going to win this. If I want to get more out of this game, I should have been in front, at least right next to this Thunderbolt. So that is in hindsight there. I could have done this a little bit better, but no complaints there. I am getting, I've already done 1254 damage, and a little bit of spotting damage as well, 643 for being out in the front there and doing that initial spotting for my team. So I'm doing pretty well already. All I need to do is just repair my ammo rack here. There you go, come on, get it repaired, come on, let's go. Get it repaired now, I can go hyper aggressive, but there's only 4 tanks left on the team. I do have 3/4 left of HP, which means I can trade my HP if I wanted to, but let's fully aim at this guy. Let's stop. Obviously when you stop your aim, it's going to be slightly better, so I want to make sure I land that shot there and get at least my some damage, which is about 203 roll on that tank. Should have been a 240 roll, right? Too bad I got a 203 roll, but that's okay. I'm still gonna get my fair share. Here you go, finish off this bad boy, and the game is over for me. There isn't time for me to get to the last tank there, but now we cleared out this section. A very quick game, and we managed to lock out this game fairly quickly. So I'm gonna advise you to research this tank and play with either the stock gun or the second gun. You still have to research the third gun on your way to researching the CS43, the tier 8. You don't have a choice there, but you do have a choice on whether you want to play with the 300 alpha gun or not. My advice, I did manage to play with the third gun later on, but I don't have a replay for it because I did not enjoy that gun very much. In fact, that gun was really sluggish and underperforming in my opinion. Yes, the 300 alpha is really good, but the amount of time it took to reload that gun, 12 seconds, even with all your equipment and crew, it's going to take you more than 10 seconds to reload that gun. It's totally not worth it. You're going to save a lot of time with this gun. You're going to reload in less than 7 seconds if I'm not mistaken, after all your crew and equipment and stuff. I prefer to use this gun. Less damage, 240, but you're gonna fire more often. It's gonna be higher DPM. You're gonna be more competitive, and that is my review of this tank. I'm pretty happy with it. Could have done a little bit more damage, but I'm pretty happy with it, and I will go with this setup. The improved rotation mechanism, rammer, and optics is what I'm gonna go for, and there you go. This is the setup that I use for the second game, which is still the stock gun, and I upgraded the tracks so that I could mount the gun rammer. But here I am doing the comparison here with the second gun and the third gun. Again, the reload time over 4 seconds for 300 alpha, or 60 more hit points of damage. So I don't think that is really worth it. The first and second gun, again, it is the same gun, except the second gun has higher penetration. So I do suggest you use the second gun, but on your way to researching the CS53, you can try out the 300 alpha gun and find out for yourself anyway. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this setup that I'm using. I stumbled upon it and I like it, and I'm going to keep it that way. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and let me thank you in advance. I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.